Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. In honour of Autism Awareness Month, today's guest is Ambreen Suhaib, who is here to share her personal experience raising twins with non-verbal autism. Ambreen has been a strong advocate for autism awareness throughout her life, and she's here to offer support, share some tips and help other parents navigate. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
We appreciate your time today.
And good morning.
Good morning. Can you share a little bit of your experience to having twins with non-verbal autism? When did you find out?
I found out, I had the feeling since they were 1, but officially I found out at 2.3. They were delayed. Since they were twins, they were my firstborn, so you know how it is, that they're twins, they're delayed, and I had no prior experience with motherhood as well.
Yeah.
So I waited until they were 2.3, but when it was their first birthday, I remember I had a gut feeling, which I always say, it's always follow it. And I was like, there's something not right. But even then, you know, my husband, my mother-in-law, my mother, they kept telling me, it's okay, you know, they're twins, they're usually delayed, it's okay, you walked so late. So they were not walking, there was no eye contact, no response to the name. They used to look at their fingers all the time, and they used to stem with their favorite, there were certain toys that they were obsessed with. But everybody used to find it really cute because they were really cute, adorable babies, but the first thing that, you know, kept getting my attention was the social isolation. They were not interested when daddy came back from office. They never, you know, the way kids go to father, or when I used to come back from, you know, enter the house, there was no smile. There was always a gap between me and them. And since I had nieces, so I knew how the, you know, typical kids bloom, and usually you tell them, oh, look at the bird, and they will instantly look, or they'll just point to things themselves. It was not there. And then they walk late. Then when they started walking, they used to walk on their toes. And then eventually at 2.3, I told my husband, I think it's time that we go, and they were not speaking. They were completely quiet. They used to make noise. And then there was obsession with lights, with fans, anything that used to rotate. I mean, I used to give them a car and they used to spin it and play with the wheels. And they used to look at the wheels when they were spinning in a certain way. And that really bothered me. I mean, that feeling inside me grew stronger with time that there is something not right. So at 2.3, I went to a psychologist. And before that, I started putting all this on Google. And the first thing that used to come was autism spectrum disorder. And as a mother, I think you don't want to believe it, that my child could have something like this. So I used to shut the laptop. I was like, no, it's, you know, they'll get better. But I remember when I went to the psychologist's office, something in my heart knew that something is coming. And my husband, who completely had no idea, he was sitting with me. A psychologist asked me only 4 questions. How do they ask for things? Do they respond to their name? Do they have eye contact? And do they socialize? You know, kids pick up, when you smile at them, they smile back, or, you know. And all the answers were no. And I was like, oh my God, like they don't ask me for things. At the clinics, at the psychologist's clinic, I realized, yes, they have never asked me for anything. She was like, how do you tell that they need something? That is where I realized they cry, and it's my own, you know, motherly instinct that, oh, he needs milk or he needs to sleep. And he was like, because they were 2.3 and you do not get the official diagnosis until they are 3. At that time, they were 2.3. So she said, I think, in a very decent way, she said, I think they have very strong signs of, which I knew already in my heart, ASD, autism spectrum disorder. And that is where it kind of shattered. The dream just shattered for me. And in a jiffy, I started crying, and my husband was like, what happened? Like, he had no idea because he didn't know what autism is. And I was like, what she means is that your children are additional needs and they're going to stay the same way. And it still makes me very emotional because that time is like frozen in my lifetime forever, because it was the biggest blow that I got. And then I fought with depression for a good 1 year because it was for 2 kids. It was very difficult. I remember we came out of the clinic and my husband told me, you know, and that was the cutest thing. He said, whatever I want, we're going to spend on them and we'll fix it. At that time, I didn't know that, you know, it's a neurotype and you can't fix it, and there's no cure, and you don't even need to cure it. Because, I'm sorry, later when I started reading about it, I realized that it's a neurotype. They're neurodivergent, it's such a beautiful word. And slowly, I got back up again and I started looking how can I help them. It was a struggle, but one thing, I was living in a country that's so inclusive. That's one word that I absolutely love is a people of determination. That is what my twins are. And I proudly use it. I call them the POD. Even my neurotypical calls them, we have the POD parking, so he also knows. So it's been a journey. It's been, they're going to be 11 on 28th.
Okay.
So each year their birthday makes me really emotional because, they're going to be 11. So you can imagine I'm 11 years old fighting for, PS5 or how they are these days.
Right.
And I look at them and I think they are just angels. I call them angels because they are so pure, and that's what the world cannot see. And it still makes me really, really emotional because I got up and decided to step into advocacy for my kids and for all the kids like them, because I want to leave a legacy behind them. So tomorrow when I'm not there, people remember me, that there is a mother who got up to make the society inclusive and acceptable. And I am proud of them, to be honest. They have come a very long way. People look at their own struggle, that they have, they suffered depression and they worked so hard on the kids. They completely forget that they are also struggling,
Yeah.
So I am proud of them, from having no eye contact to no speech. They have come to one-line sentences, and they are beautiful. I mean, if you go on my social media, you'll see I wanted to share my journey with all the parents out there who are, who are stressing, who are upset. It does get better. I only know one thing. This life is for once. Just recently, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease myself. And I know one thing, that this life is not forever, and I want to enjoy every freaking moment of my life with them. Because when this is over completely. So I wanted to come on the social media. 3 years back, I came in to just send one message to all the new parents that life is beautiful. I mean, what they have, some of them, they understand because autism is a spectrum. Some of them are high functioning, they're self-advocating, but then there is another side to the spectrum where they fall, my children. They can't advocate for themselves right now, but I will do it for them until I'm alive. And I want to set this example for all the other parents to follow, like come out, advocate for them, take them out, and especially if you're living in the UAE, I'll specifically talk about Dubai. I've been living here for 11 years, and I cannot thank God for that, because this is the safest country. Sometimes I lose them in a mall because they love eloping and running. And I am so calm because I know I am in a safe country where they'll be protected. And each year the government comes up with something beautiful. Recently they came up with a sunflower lanyard that shows that the child or the individual wearing it has some invisible disability or condition that you can't see. Because you can look at them, they look absolutely beautiful. So sometimes they'll just go and pin somebody, and I have to rush and tell them, oh, I'm so sorry, he's on the spectrum. Or they'll just go and sniff somebody's hair. So when they are wearing something like a sunflower lanyard that represents hidden disabilities and condition, I think it's also very easy for people like you to understand. So I'm a very big promoter of anything that makes life easy for them, and also for people like you. Like you look at them and you're like, he's absolutely fine. Why is he doing like this? Why is he clapping or why is he spinning? But if you will see him wearing something that, that can make you understand his condition, a sunflower lanyard, you'll be like, okay, there is something invisible with him, and he's different. So different is my favorite word. I love them, and I just have one message to the world, and it's like, be kind. I mean, they have full right to life. And to all parents like me who are listening, please go out and take them out with full confidence. What you have is not easy. It's different, and people are going to stare at you when your child is having a meltdown on the floor. But this is how you will tell the neurotypical world that this is part of autism. I mean, sometimes you might see me dragging two kids in the mall. One is having a meltdown, one is pinching me. But I take him out. I was like, okay, yeah, tomorrow they're going to be taller than me, and it's not going to be easy. I want to enjoy life, and I want them to enjoy life as well. And there's no place in Dubai that I've not taken them. I have traveled with them as well. And people say that it's very difficult to travel. We can't even imagine. I get tons of messages on my Insta. How do you do it? And I tell them, and I get messages as well, like, your kids are so fine, they have no behavior. And I was like, no, it was not like that. When I started my journey, I used to cry at the airports, in the plane. I mean, all the people in the plane are looking at us. But I knew one thing, that I am an expat and I have to travel. And my husband loves traveling, I love traveling. And I was like, I need to train them. And we decided that, we divide and conquer, me and my husband. And we argue, we fight like any other couple. And I just, at the airport sometimes, I was like, don't look at me, let me manage it. You just do the boarding and everything. But then again, I'll mention Dubai one more time. With traveling specifically, things changed. In the last 1 decade, things have changed so much. Dubai airport, it's the most beautiful airport. I have been to so many countries. I don't think you find this much inclusivity and accessibility in traveling. Like People of Determination, I just mentioned, there are places specifically made for the PODs. Then they came up with the sunflower lanyard. You are given priority everywhere. I mean, for heaven's sake, like, we have POD cabs in Dubai. You can't even think about it in any other country. It's such a beautiful concept. You call a cab and it's particularly designed if you have a child who's on wheelchair as well. You go to the airport, the moment you get the sunflower lanyard, or even if you don't have it, I have experienced it myself. I'll just go to the counter. Initially, I used to tell them that, I have a People of Determination with me. And, good boys, they just show them in 2 minutes that they are POD. Like, yes, they'll be pinching me, or they'll be clapping or something. Right. And they're like, I have never, ever waited in queues. And then came the sunflower lanyard. It made life so beautiful. And my twins, they know sunflower lanyard means they are sitting on the aeroplane. Because they have worn it all the time. Since it came out, I have been using it regularly. So the moment I take it out now, they'll just go and take the luggage bag out, because they know that it's time to travel. So it's all about training. If you give up on them, then who is going to, work on them? Right. And if you're living in the UAE, use these accessible services. They are made for you. They're specially designed for you. If you're not feeling safe in this country, believe me, you're not going to feel safe anywhere. I am from Pakistan, and I can't even tell you, when I'm flying back and I see the skyline from the aeroplane, and my eyes literally well up, because if life is this comfortable at some extent, Dubai has a very huge role in my life, and I can't imagine my life without this country. And it still makes me really emotional, because my kids have enjoyed Global Village, my kids have enjoyed City Walk, my kids have enjoyed everything because of the safety here in this country. And I'm not bragging. I came on the social media, and there were families who got inspired so much that they moved from the UK and Canada to Dubai.
Wow.
And they used to, talk to me in detail. I was like, I can't recommend this country, enough, because you can look at my kids. I've been taking them to Warner Brothers. You have like this concept of People of Determination.
Like the normal kids, yeah.
It's so beautiful, and you can, like, it's not in theory as well. I'm a living example of that. And one thing that stands above all is you as a parent need to come out. I mean, I see special parents struggling, and they're saying, inclusivity, accessibility, come out. Bring your kids out, talk about it, raise your voice. I mean, be it's inclusive education, anything where you want inclusivity, raise your voice. And if you're not going to bring them out, how people will know about autism? I mean, if you have a social media platform, use it for raising awareness. I am, to be honest, I'm a very introvert person. It took me a lot of time to decide and come out, because the only thing that made me come out on social media was, when you say autism and special needs, the first thing that comes to your mind is dark, pitch black, because you think life is over. I wanted to come on social media and tell people that life is this beautiful. I mean, it's colors. If you look at it, you need to change your perspective. I mean, if you let autism lead your life and push you down, you're going to succumb to it. It's not an easy journey. I am not sugarcoating it. It's one of the most difficult job to be a special parent. And I give to new parents who come to me, I just tell them I have two. I mean, I have double the trouble. And I always bounce back, like, but I give time to myself as well. Mental health is something parents do not look at. Once your child gets diagnosed, it becomes more about the child, and somewhere the parent is forgotten. Husbands are usually busy with the jobs, especially the mothers. I mean, they're suffering, their focus is so much on the child that they continuously, I mean, I had hair like Simba, like there was this big. But the initial first year was so depressing. I lost my hair. I developed this autoimmune disease for a very long time. I didn't know because I was not focusing on my health. My body was giving me signals, but I was so focused on them. And that's another lesson that I have learned in a very harsh way, that you need to take care of yourself. A healthy parent is going to raise a healthy child. And if you don't advocate for your child's neurodiversity, no one else will. You are the best advocate for your child.
You have touched on so many important points there, and I just think that awareness is just so important, especially for people who are unaware, to learn about what invisible disabilities look like. You're an amazing mom, and first of all, thank you for being so vocal about your life, because it really does help so many people, people that have reached out to you and also people around the world. And how you spoke about the diagnosis there, I think touched a lot of us in terms of what you must have gone through. So if anyone watching today, is experiencing diagnosis now, could you share some kind of practical tips that you wish you had known then that might have helped you at that point?
I think when you get the diagnosis, take your time, absorb it, because it's a very big thing that comes to your life, and literally your life is upside down. Everything changes dimension. Be it your marriage, your relationships, completely everything. The dynamics are changed. Second thing, accept it, and charity begins at home. You need to accept it as a parent. Do not deny, because the early years are the most important years. Usually we are fighting with depression, and everybody around you is telling, if the child is high functioning, that it's okay, give him time, but you are just losing that window of early intervention. The first years of intervention are a game changer. I wish I knew it in the beginning myself. And when you go to centers, so autism is on the rise, right now. I think one in 59 kids have autism, and there is also a rise in the centers and the therapists. There's a plethora of options out there, and as a new parent, you don't know, you're so overwhelmed, you're so emotional, you'll just grab on to any opportunity or anything that says that can cure it. First of all, understand that it's a neurotype. There's no cure. Once an autistic, always an autistic. Do not run after labels. Oh my God, what is going to happen if my child is called autistic? I have to call him neurodivergent. No, that's good. Things are changing. We call them neurodivergent. We call them people of determination. But first, focus on the things that are important. Get the early intervention and do your own research. Read about it. There's a lot of information. The first book that I read was Hear My Voice by Catherine Morris. It changed my perspective. It was this big, and I finished it in 3 days because I was so overwhelmed. I was like, I need to read, I need to know, how can I fix it? And go out, ask questions when you're going to a therapy center, check their credibility, and trust your instinct. People are like, how do I know it's working? As a parent, you will know. No one knows your child better than you. Do your own homework. Go and ask questions. Why are you doing this with my child? What is your plan? Tell me, I'm here. Stay involved in the intervention process. What is happening in the therapies? Learn yourself, train yourself, because the child is going to be in the centers for few hours in the school, and all the day he's going to be with you. And then when it comes to schooling, please, it's such a big struggle. Parents want to run after mainstream schools, like, I have to put him into mainstream school. No, try to understand your child, where he is. Is he ready for the mainstream school? If he's not ready, try to get him ready. A one-to-one intervention is a game changer with our kids. And understand that it's a spectrum. Everybody cannot be Steve Jobs. That's the biggest myth. Once you tell a new person that my child has autism, oh, Steve Jobs also had autism, Elon Musk. No, everybody is not Steve Jobs. It's a spectrum. Some kids struggle with telling their name even all their lives. So you need to understand that. And special schooling is a blessing. Again, my kids go to a special school. I struggle with mainstream, but eventually I understood that mainstream is going to put them in a pressure and it can induce a lot of anxiety. I ended up with a special school. I'm really happy with it. So do not become a part of that race in this community of special parenting. There, you will find a lot of opinions, a lot of suggestions. Always remember that no one knows your child better than you. Look and decide. Do not follow what others are doing. Even if I tell you something, there's this medicine that I use for my child. No, look at it, read about it, discuss it with your doctor, and then do it. And always find people who are on the same journeys like you. No one, like I tell you, even your mother is not going to understand you because she doesn't have a child on the spectrum. But a fellow mom who has a child on the spectrum, she's going to understand those tears, she's going to understand the pressure because she is on the same journey. And most important thing, do not ignore your married life as well. Autism is not going anywhere. It's going to stay there.
It's important.
I say it, autism, I have 3 kids, autism is my 4th child. I have taken time to, understand it, but it's in my house. It's part of my family. I have to live with it. Once you have the diagnosis, it's not going anywhere. Work on your partnership because everybody is going to fade out, be it your siblings, your friends. Your partner is going to be there. Try to support each other. Work as a team. If you'll not work as a team, it will be too much stressful. And to all the husbands listening, try to acknowledge the mothers because they go through a lot of stress. And I am not a feminist, but I'd say women go through a lot of changes as well. Like I am 39, right? I know I'm going to hit menopause as well, and there's a lot of hormonal changes that are going to come. I would want my husband to be understanding. He's not going to go through all that. They have their own kind of struggles, but you need to be a little understanding with wives because mothers have the most toughest role, and it's multiplied by 1,000 when they have a child with an additional need. And when it's multiples, I know parents who have triplets with autism, and that gives me more strength. And never stop advocating, please, and take your time. When you think that you can't take the pressure and I can't manage it, leave everything, rest. Do not do anything. Go in that bubble and take your time, become numb. This is what I do. I take breaks because when we think that I got it all, I'm a strong mom, I can do it, like I have to do it. No, you have to do it, but if you're not in good health, how will you do it? And all this pressure, this stress, it does affect your health. Take your time, take breaks, rejuvenate, and then bounce back. And you will bounce back healthier and happier. Make your own time, go out if you have to, have friends, and do not expect all the friends to understand your position. Some friends are just for you as a woman, as a man, as a father. Do not sit with all the friends and discuss, oh my God, autism did this to me. No, sometimes just go out, have coffee, enjoy, because you also need that.
Yeah.
And you have your tribe of parents who are on the same journey, and then you have friends who are just friends, who you just sit down and relax with. I have been in Dubai for almost 12 years now. I only have 4 friends. And I don't want to increase my social circle because I'm happy, I'm content. They are those friends who I don't sit down and tell them, oh my goodness, what happened, he did. No, I just sit down with them and enjoy life, talk about makeup, talk about movies, because I'm a human as well. Do not forget that you are an autism mom, but you're also a human. Take time and do not let anybody lead your life and tell you that no, even if it's autism, even if it's your husband, you know when you need a break, you know when you need time on your own. So enjoy life. The motto of all this is only one thing. This life is for once. Once your eyes are shut. I mean, I talk too much, to be honest. And my husband talks very less. And sometimes it's like, you talk too much. I just tell him, once we are dead, we are quiet forever. So let's just use this life. And when I am in the house, I'm like, they don't speak much. They have very few words. But I talk to them because sometimes you need to stop looking at them with this lens that they are autistic. So, you don't do this because they are autistic. No, 100%. They are children. And to all the parents who become paranoid with diets and with biomedicine, I respect that you're trying to help your child, but don't forget one thing, that they are children. They need to enjoy ice cream. They need to go to McDonald's. They need to go out and enjoy the park as well. I mean, my kids go and sometimes they're clapping, they're stemming. There were events where they were bullied as well. Initially, I used to cry because it used to hurt me. But now what I do is I nicely, I just go to the kid who is just bullying and tell him, he's on the spectrum. Do you know about autism? And sometimes they'll be embarrassed, like, we got noticed. But that's the least I can do. It's I think it's my liability, and it's a liability in all the mothers and parents. You need to go and tell people about autism and then leave it to them, how they perceive it. But the only painful part for me is that they are beautiful humans. To me, they're angels, right? There's no hate. They're so pure. And what are we fighting for? We are fighting for their place in the society. I mean, who has this right to tell us special parents that you need to fight for their place in the society? No, the society is not owned by anybody. This world is as much as theirs as it's ours. But okay, fine. This is a challenge that's been thrown on me by life, by the universe. Okay, bang it. Like, come on. If I will give up, I know one thing, that nobody tomorrow, not even maybe their sibling, because to all the neurotypical siblings of special kids, I mean, you guys are amazing. I know you have had a very difficult childhood, and I am so obsessed with my twins because I raised them alone for 5 years, and then I had my neurotypical. And it's really funny sometimes, he'll talk so much, and I just tell my husband, it's so difficult to raise a neurotypical child. Like, seriously, you need to enjoy life. I mean, there are these kind of jokes in my family as well. But even then, I know that he gets all the love, even by, scratching it out of me. He's a neurotypical. He will get it, and he knows. But they can't even ask for it. So I make him understand now. He's 6, and now he tells me when we are going out, oh, there is a POD parking, let's park there. And slowly, I'm trying to train him as well. To all the neurotypical kids listening, just be kind. That's all I want. My message to the world is only kindness, because kindness is contagious. I don't want you to become my kids' best buddies. No, I just want you to be accommodating, kind, inclusive, and just one thing, that all of us, even 3 of us, are made differently. We all look at the world differently. They have come to the world wired very differently. They perceive the world very differently. Just let them enjoy life like any other child. Don't judge. I mean, next time if you see a parent, dealing a child who's flopping on the floor and he's crying and, or he's hitting the mother or pulling her hair, don't just pass looks or any comments. Just the least you can do is just pass a smile or
Is there anything else that we could do in that type of situation? So if we see a mom struggling, what can a passerby do?
I think you can offer help. If you feel scared to offer help, because some people say that, we don't feel comfortable because the mother is already struggling. Just ignore or just pass a smile or just tell her that she's doing a good job. Because that's the least you can do. Because I want to give this confidence to the parents that please take them out. And if they're having a meltdown, it's absolutely fine. This is how people like you will understand that this is also autism. This is what happens. My sons, when they're happy, they'll clap or they'll spin. You might find them outside in a mall. And if it's not bothering anybody, or if they're not hurting anybody, or if they're not hurting themselves, because some of them have the tendency to hit themselves as well, and one of my twin does it as well. I just let them be. If they're laughing, okay, it's fine. And they love Papa Roti here. It's their favorite place. So sometimes they're just sitting and they're singing. They can't speak properly, but they sing. And sometimes people will look and I'm like, I just pass a smile. Now this is what I do. If somebody is looking, I'll just pass a smile. If somebody's staring, I'll just stare them back. And this is a journey. You get this confidence later on. Initially, it's a struggle, but it does get better. If you're a new parent and you think, oh my goodness, life is over. No, life is not over. A new chapter has just begun. Take your time, and it gets better. If they're not speaking right now, these 2 kids, beautiful kids that I have, they had not a single word. And I used to cry in my prayers at what's going to happen to them. And I still worry. Yes, I do worry. If to all those who are thinking that I'm speaking so much so I don't worry, they have self-injurious behavior. Sometimes when they cannot communicate, they'll just hit themselves. And at that time, I stay firm myself. I'm a bad cop. I treat them I don't treat them in a specific way. Sometimes I just deal them like my neurotypical. But when they hit, it hurts me here. But I don't cry in front of them because they're very smart. Later on, I'll just take it out. I believe in taking it out. If you want to cry, just cry and take it out, because building it up, it also affects you. So with me, I'm worried that tomorrow when I'm not going to be there, what will happen. But me sitting here is also a part of preparing for their future, because I want to send this message out there that there is a half world that exists out there, and that is these kids who are going to be adults tomorrow. So this is the least that I can do, and this is one part of my future prep for them, that I want to advocate for them. And I want to tell all the parents, please come out of your shell. People say that they live in a transparent bubble. I think parents also live in a bubble. They are not, there's this taboo around these kids that no, I don't want to take them out, people will stare. Let them stare. I mean, do that.
Say regardless.
You know,
like, even for
does that
yeah.
bother you? Like, is it more important than your child? So you need to just focus on this thing, that if people are staring, it's absolutely fine. You stare them back. It's okay. Like, you know, you need to train your brain on this. Because people initially, it's very overwhelming. Again, it's a journey when in the beginning you're like, oh my goodness, people are staring at me. Initially, when I used to travel with them at the airport, he's having a meltdown because, you know, airport is a very huge place and I didn't know what to do. Then I, you know, prepared them. I used to talk to the therapist, what we can do, like, you know. Then I got to know that they're sensitive to sound. Eventually, slowly you learn. And now they become a pro at airport. You know, we go and we have this bag fully prepared. It has their headphones. I know that, you know, if this gummy bear is not working, this is going to work. If noise cancelling headphones is not working, the music headphone is going to work. So you learn, you know, try, and you'll find the right pathway with them. And if they're not speaking right now, another obsession that I see with parents, that when is my child going to speak? And speaking is like this. No, you are in 2025, you need to understand that you need to provide them any form of communication. It could be cards, it could be the tabs. We have such modern technology, bless this time, that there are so many options. Please stop pressurizing them for mainstream, stop pressurizing them for only using words like, you know, he has to say mama, only then I'll consider him speaking. No, if he's saying through his speech app, he's saying mama, that should be enough for you as well. I mean, there are kids who can't even say that. And with all those who are struggling with teenage, all the best to you. Because this is something I'm really scared of, because they're going to be 11, inshallah, in a week. And their birthday is a very emotional day for me each year, because they're growing up. But I still, you know, I hug them and I make them sit in my lap and I just squish their cheeks, because I know that after 3 years, they will not let me do that. So I want to make the full use of this time. So don't worry, you know, I know it's difficult, but things are gone, but we are in better times. Just imagine, I mean, there is a war happening in the world right now, and I can't even tell you that I think about children who have autism and who are in Palestine right now, and just imagine that. So this is what my father taught me, and I was very close to my father. And I used to think that I used to tell him this, that I will not breathe for a second if you're not there. And this is how life teaches you. He was taken away by COVID, and in the most horrific way.
So I'm sorry.
And I went into depression again. But then I used to listen to his voice notes that he sent me when my kids were diagnosed. And he used to tell me one thing: in your most difficult days, look down at the people who are at a worse position. If you think this autism is difficult, imagine if they were blind as well. Then what could you have done? So you need to look down instead of looking up to make your journey easy. And my father, I am sure he's in heaven. He taught me two things. Kindness is contagious. And if you can help people and you can make a change in anyone's life, please do that. And that is why I'm sitting here. It was not easy for me. To all those parents who think it's difficult to come out and speak, I talk too much, but I was too scared to come on the social media. But then I saw parents thinking about suicide as well when they had twins or triplets being diagnosed with autism. And I was like, no, I think I should come out and show them this beautiful colorful side as well. And then I get messages from outskirts of a country, and your mother should be like, you're living in a country that's so advanced. And I'm like, no, our struggles are the same.
Right.
Before sleeping, the worries that come in your head also come in my head. But yes, I am blessed to live in a country that's so inclusive. But the thing is that, look at me, I am a mother, I'm living in the UAE, I am coming out to speak about it. You can do this. Instead of just take it out at a platform and help people learn about autism. Did I talk too much?
No, so true and so inspiring for so many parents around the world going through the same thing. We have some questions coming in saying, can you share your page? So before you leave us, if anyone wants to contact you directly, are you open to questions, and how can they find you?
Oh, absolutely lovely. That is the reason I'm sitting here. So I made this page, The Warrior Mommy, because it's totally dedicated to mothers, because my mother worked really hard with me, though we were neurotypicals, we were 6 siblings. And then when I looked around and the special mothers, hats off to them, hands down. I have always said it at so many platforms that you should wear your invisible crown every day, because what you are doing is not everybody's cup of tea. So I came up with this page, The Warrior Mommy. It's a true dedication to the mothers who are on this journey with me. And it's made for mothers like me and even fathers like me. I have fathers contacting me as well. Like, my wife is struggling with depression. I want to help her. How can I? So it's there, and I made it for people to come and ask as many questions as they want. And if they are in the UAE, there are times that I was just talking to a mother yesterday, and she was struggling with something, and I couldn't get her out of my head when I slept one night before. I took her number and I called her, and she was glad, and she was like, "Oh, you called me." I was like, "No, I'm nobody. I'm just a mother who's trying to help mothers." I mean, I am not a very big influencer, to be honest. The whole purpose of the Warrior Mommy page is to promote awareness and to tell parents it's okay. You will survive, because, to be honest, there's no other option. So why not do it at the best of it? Like, survival of the fittest, as they say, it's a theory. Mm-hmm. So if survival of the fittest, and you are fit. I mean, you are given this huge responsibility of raising a child with additional needs, and the universe chose you. So there must be a reason.
A true thank you for sharing your journey today. We really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for having me. Lovin Dubai is like family. I've come earlier as well.
Thank you.
What you guys are doing, like, you're popular. Lovin Dubai is like, everybody loves you. So thank you so much. And
well, what you're doing is more important and more impactful than I think that we ever could. So thank you so much. Thank you, Masa.
Thank you, Casey.
thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show today. If you missed any part of this interview, you'll find it on podcast as well. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.